Welcome back to the Sport of Fitness podcast. Happy New Year. It is January 7th, which means we are just 1 week away from the 2026 Open registration officially allowing us all to join and to sign up. That will be next week. We're going to have an awesome kickoff show. Colton Mertens, your two-time Open champ, will be joining us on that show today. Today, we were supposed to have your second fittest woman on earth and who was recently voted female athletes of the year. If you just look at the CrossFit media personalities out there. Unfortunately, she was sick last minute, so Lucy will not be able to join us. However, we do have the man, Boz. Mr. Adrian Bozman will be joining me as we just talk about our favorite moments of the Open over the last 15 years. So stick around. We got some great stories for you guys as we highlight and get prepped for Open registration starting next week. But up next, it is Mr. Adrian Bozman.
Forging elite fitness is what we do here in CrossFit Inferno. We forge elite fitness. We have people of all walks of life, of all different levels, of all different abilities that come in here, and they see the workout every single day on the board. And every single person is doing their version of that. Doesn't matter if they're our best athlete in here or if they're brand new. They will get their ass handed to them in a way that their body is going to have some sort of stimulus or response to it that is going to make them better the next day. I don't cater to the masses. I don't cater to the small groups. I set a bar high and we coach every single person to get their version of that so that they can attain that level. That's forging elite fitness.
Boss, Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year. And hey, I know I'm no Lucy Campbell, but I just want to make sure people understand that I was slated to be on the show originally.
Yes.
I'm not just the last minute call up.
Can anybody jump on the show?
I was talking to you ahead of time. I'm like, hey man, I know my star power is waning over the years, but
false. That's false.
Can still contribute.
Well, hey, it's the new year, Jan 7th. In 7 days, next Wednesday, we'll be live again. Yet, when we are live, so will registration for the 2026 Open. I can't wait. I've already got my judges course done. We're good to go, ready to rock. Man. And now I just need to register. I like to get out of the way. Are you a procrastinator in the registration, or are you a day oneer?
Nope. As soon as it opens, get in there, get it done. Then you don't have to worry about it. It blows my mind. Every year we do these Open announcements, and I'm not going to dime anybody out, but consistently we will have athletes. These are top tier professionals, Chase, and they will be completing the Open on live TV for the world to see. And then we'll try to go log their scores, and it's like, oh, they haven't registered yet. I'm like, if you miss this,
yes,
that's it. You're out of the running, So it blows my mind how some people are a little more blasé about that. But no, I got to get it done, get it out of the way. Then you don't have to think about it. You can just stress out like the rest of us about how hard it's going to be to put forward your best effort.
I'm gonna dime out two people right now because I've got my best friend and my best training partner, and they always wait till it's submission day.
Oh, that's risky.
To register for the Open. So Bill Grunler, you sign up for the Open on Wednesday, Mr. Procrastinator. And then Jules Kennedy, my training partner, you need to sign up on day one too. That just the stress level of my friends that just wait to the last minute, it just drives me crazy.
Can I give you a little slow plug here, a little soft plug?
Let's hear it.
This year we do have a feature that you can, and affiliate owners particularly, listen up, you can batch buy Open registration codes and send them to people. So if you have that last minute procrastinator friend, you can gift them a code and just be like, here, take it. I'm taking all the steps out of it for you. Basically, you just got to go and enter this code. That's true. Affiliate owners too, you can do that. And if you want to get a bunch of people signed up, you can buy a bunch in bulk and then hand them out and do what you will with them. So kind of a cool feature.
That is a great call out because you can sign someone up against their will. Honestly, if you just buy the code, just make sure you got their email address and just, hey, surprise, you're on the leaderboard.
You can take a horse to water, Chase. As to say, but.
Well, all those friends that are just doing it in the corner, it's like, hey, what did you get? Yeah, what was your judge's name? Cool. Just don't mind me submitting your scores for you on the registration. Along with that too, as you mentioned, with what's in the store for affiliate owners of those batches that you can get for your gym, which makes it a lot easier if you guys are running Friday Night Lights. Really, I think it's as many as you get for the affiliate, as long as you buy them all up front, give the codes out to your members, make it easy for them. There's also in the toolkit, it actually just went right now. So affiliate owners, you have your affiliate toolkit, go to CrossFit.com, log into your toolkit. Resources just dropped from our affiliate team for open promotion. You've got logos, decals, Canva templates, everything you guys need to do to start promoting the Open now in your gym is now available at your fingertips. Just go to your affiliate toolkit at CrossFit.com or hit up a rep like myself or that's in your area, and they can help you out too. But Boz, we're 1 week away, sir, of registration day, which we'll have a nice live show.
I'm glad you clarified because my stress level just went up. I'm crawling out of a deep hole here, Chase. My fitness is not ready for the.
Oh, do we have a holiday decline in the fitness level?
No, my friend, it has been like an 18-month just generally lack of discipline, and I'm going to pay the piper for it. So, you know what I mean? I have a couple friends that, when Open rolls around, you always have a couple people that you're like gunning for, and the smack talk and the whole thing. And I got to say, man, with most of those people, I'm pretty neck and neck. But this year, I think I'm just going to get thrashed.
Oh no, this the year?
I'm going to have to take my licks and come back and, try to get on for 27. But we'll see what we can do. I got a couple weeks, right? I can train up.
Plenty of time. But you got more than a couple of weeks. We're because the first Open announcement won't be till the last week of February. So we have time to get a little bit of fitness in. Plus, what's nice, Boz,
6 weeks, Chase.
6 weeks, everybody. 42 days, give or take, is when the announcement will come through. But what's also nice is that we have quarterfinals, which are back, which gives us a little bit more runway, right? Get in the top 25. Let's just get to the top 25%, Boz. And then you got more plays.
It wouldn't have been a question, but this year, if I can hit that top 20.
This year's been interesting. The past year, what was really cool about the Open last year for me was getting back into a CrossFit affiliate and just really re-immersing myself in the community. I go to this awesome affiliate here in Dallas, Texas. It's called D-Town CrossFit. Beautiful facility right outside downtown. I've been in my garage for a couple of years. I had shoulder surgery back in 23, which just threw off my world a little bit, man. Being in the garage is not the same thing as the affiliate. I realize that's where, our first step of the CrossFit evolution was out of the Globo gym into the garage. And then we made just bigger garages for people to train at. But what has been nice this last year is that I committed to myself to sign up to try to qualify for an event. And I accidentally qualified for the TFX, the Fittest Experience, which is in Austin, Texas.
Accidentally. Dang.
I say, yeah. There's
Must be nice, Chase. Oh, I just accidentally qualified.
Well, I will say this. I say accidentally. It's like I did not qualify, but there's this beautiful thing called the backfill invite, and somehow I snagged one of those. So leading into the Open, have committed myself to compete at the individual stage, 40 to 44. All right, let's just put in that in context. But I qualified. I'm going to compete, and I'm going to take that into the Open. And for the first time, I don't know, say in a long time, I am not as terrified of what my performance will be over the course of those 3 weeks, but really excited to see how far I've come in the last couple of years. And for someone who's, God, how old am I now? 43. And doing this will be my 15th. Is this the 16th year of the Open?
16th coming up.
16 years. So my 16th Open. And it's nice to have those excited nerves again versus just total absolute dread.
Well, I feel like the excited nerves never go away, right? Like, isn't that kind of part of it? That's what makes it fun.
That's how I put myself in a hole in 25-1 last year. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm way too competitive with lack of fitness to back up this.
Yeah. Sometimes it'd be like that.
But that's one of my favorite parts of the Open. And part of our discussion today, even though we are a week out from registration opening for the 2026 season, is our fondest moments and memories of the Open over the course of the last 15 years. And we've got to be a part of it. You and I have got to be a part of Open announcements in different ways. Obviously, if Roe versus Boz was a huge thing back in the day with the Open, the different places we went. Our first Open announcement was the first Open announcement out of the country. Remember one of those where like Dave was it in France with like Sam Briggs? Was that
honestly, I don't remember it. Going back, like if you go way back in the day, the first like they weren't really announcements, but they filmed a bunch of videos that were kind of open explainers in Tony Budding's garage.
That's right.
And I can't recommend going back and watching them because they're like 27 minutes long to tell you how to do a burpee. It's kind of absurd. You know what I mean? And so there was some learnings there that you can trim the fat a little bit. And it was, those were like the original kind of intros to the Open. And then the year after that, I was telling you off camera, Dave Heber and I took this like crazy whirlwind tour to get footage with all of the past champions, or most of the past champions at that time. And so what we did is we went to LA at the time. The Valley Girls were training together for some of the old heads. So we filmed there, and then we hopped on a plane, went to Cookeville, filmed there. Then we hopped on a plane, went to Reykjavik, filmed there, then back to Columbus, and then finally in Carson. And that whole trip, we were gone for like, it was like 36 or 48 hours. It was something stupid. It was this crazy whirlwind tour. And then those videos got made into, kind of announcements for the 2012 season, I believe. You guys have to check me on that. My memory is getting a little, getting up in years, but that second year, that was a lot of fun, even though that trip was absurd. I remember, that was the year that 7 minutes of burpees came out, and Heber did that in a parking garage in Iceland, a redo, and I think he got like the same score.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
that's
good
brutal.
times.
That's funny. Is like, the first technically, I remember the Tony Budding videos, that the 12.1 announcement with Dave and that shit-eating grin that he had when he's like 7 minutes of burpees, and he knew what we was doing and what the reaction would be. And it's probably one of my more favorite ones. Actually, I have an all-time favorite Dave Castro Open announcement that I'll tell one of those, but in the spirit of Tony Budding and long drawn out videos and explanations, I'll go to 13.1, our very first like in affiliate live Open announcement. It was Scott Panchek versus Dan Bailey. We 13-1 and
North Carolina, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think it was it was like CrossFit Impulse or something like that. I can't remember. And we took, what was it, 12.1 and 12.2 and combined it into 13.1. We were wearing dress shirts and ties, and the secrecy around the Open announcement was crazy. And it was me and Tanya Wagner, and then Tony Budding takes us into like a Tahoe in the parking lot, and it was like we're being interrogated by the CIA, and we're just getting like confident. I mean, it's always confidential information, but he probably spent an hour and a half explaining what the Open workout was going to be for that day. And that's just Tony's way. Vitality. Look at that. Cross Games TV.
Yeah, that same announcement was kind of the birth of Roe versus Boz also. Because, Rory and I, for the first couple of years of the Open, we had a gentleman's agreement that we would try to do them together. And that we would, I think for the first 2 years, we were going to do video submission. And then when that first kind of live announcement came and went, everything was still set up. All the people had kind of left at that point, except for like a few kind of stragglers drinking beer or whatever. And Rory looks at me, he's like, "Hey man, everything's set up. You want to just like knock this out right now?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we did. And then that kind of became a thing. And then like a year later, it was like, "Hey, we'll keep the cameras rolling." And then it just kind of ballooned from there. So that was one of the first kind of catalysts for that whole thing.
Was it, I actually think it was a couple weeks later that year, or maybe it was 14. What was the one where he did at CrossFit TNT? It was like Chris Spieler, Graham Holmberg. Was that 13.4 or?
You'll have to check. I'm not sure if that was 13 or 14, but that was awesome because there was no defined
it was
stage. Everybody was just kind of pressing right in. It had this real kind of, I don't know, just down and dirty type feel.
Okay.
But that was awesome.
That was the one where week 1, I had no idea that you guys did that in 13.1. And then 2 and 3, I think we was like, "Hey, you guys going to do the same thing you did last week?" And then 13.4, I was there. I think it was with Tanya Wagner again. And they're like, "Hey, Adrian and Rory are going to go head to head again. Let's just keep the cameras rolling."
Oh, it happened that fast? In my mind, it was like a year later.
Oh, yeah. It was, well, those 5-week opens, those felt like a year back in the day. But yeah, I remember that. That was the first one we kept doing. And then it just went from there. And that was such a fun, organic thing. And I think that's what sometimes people forget is like, listen, Roe versus Boz, I think, was one of the most endearing things that were part of the CrossFit Open during that time. But it was so
nice of you to
organic.
say.
Yeah, I really mean it. I had more fun. Like, I got to be a part of a lot of great open announcements and a lot of incredible athletes and a lot of incredible atmospheres. But watching you and Roe go back and forth, and to see the stress it would bring on Roe about game plans and what to do was always so fun behind the scenes. But the way it was so organic and so fun. And it was really embodied the spirit of what the Open really is.
Well, what we used to do too, which I don't know if a lot of people caught this, but once we got past that first one, and I think we might have even done it there too, just because they were who was left. But what we would start doing is have a, the judges obviously would work with the athletes when they did their like full scale thing.
Oh yeah.
I was often one of those judges. And then we would ask the athletes to be like, hey, would you judge us? And so the tables would turn. I remember distinctly, we were at doing one of those workouts. I think it was the same year, 2013 at CrossFit South Brooklyn. And Annie was my judge. And
Annie versus Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And Annie was my judge. And I distinctly remember in the middle of it was some workout with box jumps and something else. I can't remember. And I took a break in the middle of this set of box jumps. And she just like, with all seriousness, looks at me and says, stop feeling sorry for yourself. I was like, oh, damn. All right. I didn't know I was, but I guess I better get going again.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah.
Oh,
that one is a good one. That was a whirlwind of what was it? Deadlifts, shoulder overhead, and then maybe box jumps. I think.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
That was fast and nasty one as well. The one that's, I would say, I don't want to say a selfish one, a very personal one for me is 17.3 San Antonio, Texas. So I'm from San Antonio, Texas. My family still lives in San Antonio, Texas. At the time, 2017, I actually just went back a couple weeks ago or last weekend. It was really nice, but it was at, I want to say Alamo CrossFit, and that dome like hangar, and they wheeled in a freaking ladder truck because we were highlighting the fire department there in San Antonio. But what was super fun was it was Matt Fraser, Scott Panchek, and Cole Sager, and it was the ascending pull-ups, snatches, and weight one that we did. But what was so cool is that obviously Dave's whole announcement and how they drew up. I think he needed like 2 blackboards to get it all in, but he was wearing a San Antonio Spurs jersey, which I appreciated. But what was cool is that my mom got to come to that, and she got to see really what it was all about. Like, my parents have always been like big fans of just, what I do professionally, what I did when I was.
Do they understand what you do? Because I don't think mine.
I honestly do. I don't even understand what I do anymore, Boz. It's just like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds super fun. But what was really cool is she got to see that and see me there. And it was really fun to see her across the floor while it was all happening and her just soaking it in. That was a really fun open. And plus, I think that's one of the better open announcements we've ever had. That obviously Matt did what he did. Scott had an incredible performance, but that last second, I think it was like 265 for Cole Sager, was almost on the fringe of his winner at max. Hit at the last second. It was just
that place. I remember that place was electric.
So loud
during that. Yeah, super cool.
So loud.
I'll tell you, man. One of my favorites was I believe it was 2015, and I think it was the last workout of the Open. We had Matt Fraser and Ben Smith and Rich Froning. They all. Yeah. And we were like, hey, we got the lanes open, Dave. Maybe you should join us for a Roe versus Boz. And he was real cagey about the whole thing leading up. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then he backed out, and then yes, he'd do it again. And so we weren't sure if he was, going to follow through or whatever. And then at the last second, he's like, yeah, I'm in. And just doing that, the 3 of us was really fun.
Yeah,
out there at the ranch. That was cool. And hey, man, I got to say, the YouTube videos of that, they did Dave dirty with the thumbnails. Definitely shouldn't go search them for that. But yeah, it was a good one. Yeah.
That's really funny.
That was fun. That was the years when I was up too. I was sweeping Rory. Everybody thought that I was unstoppable.
Oh.
But the reality was that we were pretty even if you look at the course of all of those open workouts. Like, I think we came out pretty much at a dead tie. But I did have a couple good years in there. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, those good years seem to stick in people's mind a lot better than the years I got stomped. So I'll take it.
What was the one where you guys almost had total opposite Was it the clean handstand
Oh,
push?
that was on my list too. No, there was a two-parter in
Oh, that
2018, I think.
was it the
Where
burpee dumbbell squat?
That's right. Yep. So it
Oh,
started with the
man.
little guy stuff, the burpees and the dumbbell squat, and then you had a quick quick transition to a max clean. And you look at Rory and I on paper and the stats, and like he should dust me in the heavy lifting every day of the week, and I should beat him in the skinny guy stuff, But that's not how it went down. It actually was opposite. He beat me in the skinny guy stuff, and I outlifted him on that day. He sold it so hard that he couldn't lift after that. So that was really fun to do. Yeah, great memory doing that one.
That one for me is that we were trying to qualify a team that year. And so with the two-parter, and the way the two-parter worked is, I think it was still teams of 6 at the time. Or no, maybe it was teams of 4, but it was like, hey, you take your 2 best scores, men and women, in part A, and then your 2 best lifts in part B. And I was like, all right, guys, listen, I will sacrifice all of my being to set the fastest time I could possibly set on the burpee dumbbell squat one. I am going to help no one on this team in the max clean, 0, let alone if I put myself. And I would have to say is that one was probably the most painful one during that I had to be a part of or got to be a part of. The most painful one after, and this was 10 minutes after, 16.5, the thrusters row.
I was just going to say that has to be one of the worst ones on record.
That is top one of just watching people do it, having done it and know it. Like I always did it twice back in my trying to qualify for regionals days. And having done it the first time is one thing. Having gone through it, watching other people,
knowing what you're about to
do it
experience.
again. Oh,
Yeah.
That was
terrible.
a great one. That was a great one.
Yeah.
My favorite, and I'll bring in this one, is like, this is my favorite Dave Castro announcement, was 14.5, the infamous watch throw. So up until 14.5, every open workout we had from 2011 all the way to 14.4 to 14.5 had always been an AMRAP. It'd always been an AMRAP, and Dave comes out here and it's the 21, 18, 15, 12, 9, 6, 3. You just mentioned 15.5, which is a repeat of this, of thrusters and bar facing burpees. All the champs were there. It was like Graham, Annie, Jason, Rich, and Sam Briggs. And someone had mentioned this earlier. What was the arena called? The
Kezar Stadium.
Dude, that
Kezar.
That might be just like
that was such a cool announcement. I mean, that venue was cool. Having all the champs line up and do it together like that was cool. It was not cool. Somebody mentioned this in the chat to do it afterwards in the alley with Rory. Oh man, I was so not stoked to do that one. I was salty. I can still remember it. I was like not pleasant to be around. It was bad. It was all bad news. Yeah,
I remember that vividly. But when the one where Dave was,
I was hoping I got the out because we had to tear down. We had a really tight timeline to like pack out. Right, exactly. And so the crew's like striking, and I'm like, well, I guess looks like we can't do it. And somebody's like, well, you can do it in the alley. I'm like, shut up.
No. And not only did you do it in the alley, you did it in this like uneven asphalt parking lot.
Oh, I don't care about that though. That's I mean, honestly, I think people are way too hung up on that sort of thing these days. You know what I mean? Like half the fun, we're CrossFitters. We're supposed to be adaptable,
Well, your very first the one that, I mean, you'd mentioned this on a show before, wasn't your 7 minutes of burpees like on a trail? Like
yeah, Rory and I tried to do it the first time on a trail to an overhanging branch, which is pretty fun.
Oh,
yeah, no, in the snow, thrusters uphill both ways in the snow. Get it right. Yeah, dude, that Kezar one definitely broke me off. Obviously, I think I still have a little bit of a sting from that one. I can still just like taste the unpleasantness of that whole situation. But I'll give you one more from those early days, like that. You talked about the trail run burpee. I remember there was one. I think it was that same year. I had a tiny garage gym at the time, and it was a box jump, toe to bar push press. I can't remember what year. 2012, maybe.
12.4.
Yeah, something like that. And I set it up in my garage, and all I had to get the box jump done at that time was bags of soil
Oh no.
that my wife was going to use in the garden later. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I set them up deliberately too tall because I knew that over the course of the workout, they were going to compress down. And so it was like a variable height, you know what I mean? So it started out like too much, but by the end it was like probably right there, maybe a little under even, you know what I mean? But it netted out. So I can't say I'd recommend that.
Does that qualify as the oddest place you did an open workout? It was either the garage or the back alley.
The oddest? No way. Not even close. I mean,
okay. What is it?
I mean, I think that trail was probably one of them, you know what I mean? But I was lucky enough at the time to be traveling around in the early days a lot. Like I remember doing open workouts in Sweden. That was a really fun one. That was also the year that we had push-ups in there. And there's a reason that you don't see those anymore.
Hand release push-ups. Yep.
Yeah,
that was
11
too.
Let's just say the consistency was not fantastic across a couple 100,000 people doing that.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Or whatever the number was at that time.
Yeah. Gosh, 2011, I think it was like 25 maybe, honestly, that year, which is crazy to think how far we come.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to think of any odd places. I remember the most interesting year I had was in 23 because I just had shoulder surgery in January, like 3 weeks before the Open started. And, this is just an old thing that has been nagging me forever. And I was like, hey, look, I'm going to get it taken care of. Couldn't find a good time to do it. I wanted to do the Open. So what I ended up doing, I was talking to Kevin Ogar. And I was like, all right, I'm going to sign up for the Open, obviously in the Open division. However, he's suggested, he's like, what you should try is that you should try to do the upper extremity versions of all of these Open workouts because the adaptive division was along with the Open at this time. I think it's 2023. Also, sidebar, I'm so glad everybody's back together coming for San Jose. That's going to be super fun at the end of January. But in my, I don't want to say hubris, although it might be the right word for this, is that after doing those versions, I was 3 weeks out in a sling, couldn't move, and I just did that variation of what it was. I got my ass handed to me so bad by thousands of these athletes, or I guess not that, hundreds of these athletes in that division. And it was super fun to do, super cool experience. I think, obviously I'm not submitting my scores in that division. I think one of them was the 23.1, which was the repeat of 14.3. So I got a score of 60 on the cows. And then after that, I did all the other versions of that. And that was a cool year. To just go through all that, experience a different version of what the workouts are with what I could possibly do. But for me, it was a really cool thing. It was like, listen, I might not be 100%. I may be limited temporarily in whatever thing, but there's always a way to do it. And we say that so much in the affiliate, in our group classes. We can infinitely scale this thing. And to do that for the Open for the first time was a super cool experience back in 23. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like anybody who sticks around long enough, like you're going to have ebbs and flows, you know what I mean? And if you expect that you're going to do this for the long haul and every year is just going to be PRs and linear trajectory upwards, like, hey, look, eventually you're going to face the music that's just not the case. And so, yeah, it is cool to, be able to see that and experience it from the other side too. And if you're a coach or an affiliate owner, I think it's good to recognize that from time to time, because there's lots of people that are going to come in and they're going to be intimidated by that. Or they're just going to have some trepidation. Like what's this whole thing about? Why am I going to put myself out there like that?
Yeah.
So to kind of be reminded, if you've been around for a while, what that's like, that can be really healthy.
What I like about that too is that, you just mentioned is like, hey, listen, I might not be the fittest version of myself that I've ever been or could be, but I'm still going to sign up to do the Open and give it the best shot. And I think we put too much emphasis on where our place is on a leaderboard that nobody's really looking at but ourselves.
Well, different strokes, right? Like some people, that's going to be a super motivator. It's like other people. I'll talk about myself because that's all I can really, speak to. But yeah, I'm not in the fittest place I've been, objectively, but it's still going to be fun. I'm still going to bring some smack talk. It's still going to be, the thing to do at the beginning of the year. I've joked for years that like, as long as the Open is a thing, I'm going to sign up and do it just because it's fun. And to me, that's like motivating enough. You know what I mean? Like the place on a leaderboard, that's great. That gets some people really fired up. More power to you, but just different stages.
What's been nice in this stage, just like fitness for life is just where I am. It's like, hey, play with my kids, be able to say yes to anything and everything that my friends want to do, that my families want to do. I'm not hindered by anything, which has been really nice, was just being able to rarely every day will I put myself in a very compromised position in terms of intensity. I'll give it my best shot, right? I'll do
hard. It's harder and harder to do.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll go as hard as I want to,
Yeah,
maybe not as hard as I can. Some days I'm more successful than others, but something about the Open just pushes me over that edge just a little bit. And I love going to that place or that feeling, even though in the moment it might not be the best feeling in the world. However, after those kind of things, it's one of those where I work out at 5 o'clock in the morning. I hate waking up at 4:25. I hate driving to the gym. I hate sitting there in the cold. However, on the ride home, if I could take a video of myself, like Total Recall, it's like, hey, listen, I know you don't want to get up right now. However, it's 6:30 in the morning. You have a cup of coffee in your hand and you are so happy that you actually woke up, went to the gym and worked out. I feel the same thing after the Open every single year. I have never once regretted signing up and competing in the Open.
Yeah, I mean, there's been years where I got hurt halfway through the Open. Like I think it was 18 or 19. I had a back injury. I was back squatting or something, and it was between Open weeks. And tweaked my back, had to, basically bench for the last couple weeks of the Open. I couldn't do it. And that was it was so much of a bummer to not be able to participate in those last couple weeks of the whole thing,
That was I happened in 2012. And that was early days where I was really trying to get into it from a regional games perspective. And I wasn't able to finish all the workouts that year. And that was a big bummer. And I think that's the only year I haven't been able to do all of them. The biggest bummer was, I believe it was 12.5. And that was the first time you guys programmed. I think it was 150 wall ball shots, 90 double unders, and the 30 muscle ups or 20 muscle ups or something like that. And at the time,
30.
those are my three. It's like, hey, Chase, what are the three movements you want to see in the Open every year? I'm like, those three. And the fact that I couldn't do it, I was so distraught. But then the repeat for 13 that year was that. So I was so excited to get another crack at that. So that was cool. Shot.
I got a funny story about that same workout where that was another one I did in that same garage, that same tiny garage that I had at that time.
There?
Yeah, man. And it was I remember it was not a super nice place, you know what I mean? And the garage was kind of dingy and the lighting was bad. And it was the walls were kind of miscolored. And I was out there in, I don't know, it was gray sweatpants on a gray wall with bad lighting. And you couldn't see really any. And these are we're talking 2012 technology or whatever it was. It wasn't exactly like everybody's got these high def videos in their pocket. The kids today, they don't know. They don't know the struggles, Chase.
Yeah.
But I remember I filmed a video. I submitted it. Didn't think anything of it. Yeah, it was a okay performance, whatever. And then the next morning, I was hopping on a plane to teach a seminar in Oahu.
Oh.
And so I hop on the plane. I fly out to Hawaii. I get off the plane. And my phone is blowing up and Tony Budding's texting me, Dave's texting me. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, hey man, your video is just getting downvoted like crazy.
Oh no.
Wait, what? It's this grainy ass video where you couldn't see anything. And people were calling me out, rightly so,
Oh man.
yeah, they deserve to get called out, but they're like, you have to do this again. I'm like, oh damn it. So it's basically straight off the plane, shout out Bryant Powers at CrossFit Oahu.
Oh.
I was like, hey dude, I got to do this open workout again. Can you set it up for me? He's like, yeah, sure. So within a 24-hour period, I did that one twice and
wow,
it was not stoked about it. But yeah,
that sounds awful. Yeah. I was glad there's a repeat there in that one. Just so many fun things about that. And then the Open in general is that we always this time of year have that conversation where people are either on the fence, don't want to, or don't really see the purpose in it if they're not competitive. And I would push back on that as if you are doing CrossFit in general, in whatever capacity, there's a level of competitiveness inside you because there's all different versions of that. I think too many people think competitive is I have to qualify for this. I have to be here on the leaderboard. And really in my sense of competitiveness, and I would preach this all the time in my affiliates and to my members, is the fact that you're here when there's so many people that are not means you are competitive in a way, whether it's just with yourself, you might not even know it, but there's a reason why you're here. And it's really fun to test yourself and just see what you're capable of because I feel like it stretches so far outside the realm of the four walls in the gym. Is that I have this, for me, it's always like, I don't think I can do this. Therefore, I either won't do this or I have this fear of failure. And then once I walk through it and realize it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, the world is still spinning and I'm fine. It brings this really cool element of, I don't know, confidence or self-discipline or self, I would say, reflection, to where I was like, oh, what other avenue can I poke around and stretch out my comfort zone? So we say margins of our experience all the time with just training in general for CrossFit, but like it goes so far beyond just like the workout itself. And I love that transferability that I get from putting myself out there or being competitive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's important to put your toe on the line from time to time. You know, it doesn't have to be every day, but it is nice every once in a while to have that kind of time-bound goal where you say you're going to do something and you show up and you do it. And the result is what it's going to be, whether that's better than you thought it was going to be, or maybe not quite as good, whatever. It's all good at the end of the day. That said, you know, people like to wax philosophical about the Open, and I've certainly done my fair share of that over the years. But I firmly believe these days it's really just more important to lead by example and just do the thing. And if that's not enough for people, then fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince people that frankly don't want to be convinced anyway. You know, the Open's a blast. It is so fun to be a part of something that is that big and that kind of far reaching. I mean, just the ingenuity that you see worldwide, where people like cobble together stuff to get it done, is so cool and so inspiring. That if like being a part of that doesn't interest you, then okay, fine, go play in your own sandbox somewhere. Then I guess that's cool.
And I think we'd be like, hey, we're okay with that.
I mean, I am, whatever.
It doesn't have to be for everybody. Cobblestoning things together. Gosh, I remember the first time the dumbbell came out, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I have any 50-pound dumbbells. So we're like taping these like 2.5s on each side and just doing our best for that year. That was super fun. But
I remember we used to get these really cool videos back in the day too, when you know, equipment wasn't quite as readily available worldwide. I can't remember what year it was, you know, 13 or 14, somewhere in there maybe. We got videos from this dude, and I want to say he was in like Latvia or Estonia or somewhere like that. You know, it is cold because it's wintertime when the Open traditionally takes place. And dude had cobbled together like his own gym that he had built basically out of wood. You know, he had like all of this stuff that he had basically home built, up to and including a rowing machine.
Wow. What?
It was like super cool to see some of that stuff coming in, you know?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much fun. The fast forward, registration is next week. That's when it opens. We've got 3 open announcements that are coming up. Like everything's announced, which is super fun. Everyone has everything on the schedule, on the calendar, that we can all be excited and look forward to. 26.1 Moffett Air Force Base. If I'm not mistaken, that'll be 26.1. 26.2, it'll be in Portugal.
Yeah, buddy.
Which having that conversation about how excited that entire country is. That it's not just the affiliate that is excited that it's coming, but the whole country is head and shoulders pumped about bringing an Open announcement to Portugal, which I think is awesome. And then 26.3, which will be debuting at Wadapalooza, Miami, with the first major collab with an event in the CrossFit space. And I mean, those are 3 exciting announcements that are coming up. And all I know is dates and locations. That's all I have to go with.
Yeah, buckle up. It's going to be a good time. As always, you know what I mean? So it's it's going to be a blast. Now, Chase, I know we talked about things that we liked about past year's Open, and you know, we were just kind of doing the old men meeting at the coffee shop and chatting like that. But what are the things that you want to see back? You know, if you had to do it, what's a movement or 2 that you're like, we haven't seen that in a while? I wish it could come back. And I could start. I got 2.
Okay, you go start. I got one lined up. So
I like it because people are going to read into this, and that's fun too. That's half the fun of the Open, right? Is trying to read in and guess what's next and all that. But hey, unpopular opinion, I love a shuttle run. I think that testing running is so important and hard to do in an online format. You know, read into that what you will, but I'm very pro shuttle run.
Pro shuttle run.
And the second thing that I love that I think is really cool, similar to that workout you were talking about with the wall ball and muscle ups and double unders. There was a version of a workout similar to that. I think it had rowing, muscle ups, and I can't remember the third movement, but it was basically a choose your own adventure style.
It had
where
wall
it was
ball
just
shots
this
in
huge
that
chunk.
too.
Yeah, there's just a huge chunk of work to do. And then you kind of picked your way through it, and you could strategize if you wanted to break it up like 10 rounds for time, or if you want to just chug through it, whatever. And I like that, because I like to see how people approach it. I like that anybody can kind of get on the board with the movements that they're strong at, even if they can't finish the whole thing necessarily. You know, they can make a good showing and then kind of chip away at their weakness or whatever. That kind of stuff is fun to me. I just love the chatter around that one too.
That was a good one. I had that on my list of open events that I did really enjoy on the Choose Your Own Adventure. It's something I'd like to see back that we haven't had in a while. I mean, we've mentioned this movement a few times, and the last things that we said is that I'd like to see the wall ball shot come back. As someone who's over
pro wall ball,
I'm pro wall ball. That said, a lot of people, and I always got this, I believe it was 19-1, where it was the 19 wall ball shots, 19 count, like 15 minutes or something. And it was the first time all the short guys really revolted against the programming for the first time in a probably open history. And everyone would look at me in the gym as like, oh, it must be nice. I'm like, you know what? It's not nice. Why? Because I'm good at both these. And that means this is really going to suck for me. So enjoy breaking up your wall ball shots and rowing slow. I'm going to have a miserable 15 minutes over the course of that. But it was probably one of my best open finishes. But yeah, it's been a hot minute since the old wall ball showed up. So I'd like to see that come back this year.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, that's my one.
Okay.
Do you have before we bounce, do you have maybe we could pass on this one this year?
Oh, something that I don't. Well, I mean, I think we talked about some of them already. Like historically, I think there's some just bad choices, you know, like the hand release push-up days. Those are gone, you know? But I'm trying to think what else I wouldn't want to see back. I don't know, man. I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to such things.
Yeah, I'm notoriously. I'll just stick with the stereotype that I am, but I'm fine not deadlifting for an open.
Yeah, I suck at that. We can just get rid of that. Yeah.
So I'll throw that out. No shocker.
And hey, conversely, I'm really good at overhead squats, so let's bring those back.
Me too. Is that a thing? Like I'm a trash deadlifter, but I'm a great overhead squatter. And I don't know why or what that is, but it's the one trick that I have in my barbell tool bag, and that's it.
Same, man. I've historically been a much better squatter than a puller, and it's just the way it's been. So,
man. Well, we'll see. We got like Boz said, we have 6 weeks until the first announcement of 26.1. However, we have just 1 week before the open registration opens. Boz, this is super fun. We could go on for absolute hours of our favorite things of the open, but thanks you for joining me for this fun chat. And guys, stay tuned next week. It's when it all opens up. Make sure you get in early. Don't wait till the last minute. Get excited, get people pumped, get the registration going. We'll be live again next week with Colton Mertens, your 2-time open champ, that'll be joining us on the show. Lucy Campbell, I hope you're feeling better. We'll get her back on the show for sure. But Boz, I appreciate your time. Thank you for.
Hey man, thanks for having me. It's a blast reminiscing and going down memory lane a little bit. And hey, if you're newer to this sort of thing, like get on the open, because these are the type of memories that you take with you throughout your CrossFit tenure. And it's a lot of fun to look back and be like, oh man, remember when? And oh dude, remember when I beat that dude or he beat me or whatever. Like it's just a blast to get involved in that kind of thing and kind of have it as like a on the record type experience. So hope to see everybody out there. It's going to be a fun year. And yeah, thanks for having me, man.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. We'll be right back with our top 10 feats of fitness for the week. Live from San Jose, California, it's the CrossFit Divisional Games. From July 21st to July 26th, the Masters, teams, and adaptive athletes will once again be joining the individuals and teams games qualifiers. Get ready for an epic week of the CrossFit Games and the Owners and Coaches Conference presented by Hustle Up. All right, welcome back, everyone. Without further ado, we have our top 10 feats of fitness for the week. It is back and better than ever. For number 10, start with one of the youngest candidates for our top 10. This is Sky Dubot. She says, Dad, got 4 plates on the bar. Actually just bought my kids one of these kids barbells from Rogue Fitness. One got a blue one, one got a purple one. Super excited about that. I'm jealous of the elbow position in the squats. Those days are maybe long gone for Mr. Days. As we move on to number 9, we've heard of a muscle up. We've seen it on ropes, but how about a single pole? That Manuel, I believe he just created the very first pole up. This is Fred Warner, linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers, climbing like Spider-Man. As I was talking to Boz earlier, it's like, yeah, that's not as hard as you think. However, going that fast is a whole another beast in general. And number 7, I had no idea where this was going to go, but I like where it finished. It's a partner skin the cat rotation on the rings. That's a lot of trust and a lot of stability in the shoulders. Number 6, we have Stephanie Hillinger, the ultimate freestanding press up from the floor. This just keeps getting better and better. And I just don't know how human beings are capable of doing movements like that. But that is the beauty of movement. As we crack our top 5, Mr. Connor Murphy, firefighter out of Boston, does a sub 10-second 1,000-pound club. So between a 1-rep max back squat, bench press, and deadlift, totaling up to 1,000 pounds. And he did it in less than 10 seconds. Congratulations to Connor Murphy. We have 46-year-old Luda with 105 kilogram clean and jerk, 231 pounds at 46 years old. That means maybe one day I'll be able to do that again. And I'm only 43. Christopher Joyce, the ultimate freestanding handstand. And I would say the ultimate trust between him and that TV on the left. He's doing this on mini dumbbells. And I don't know what's more impressive, the hold, the throw, the return, or how about for a little extra, a little press up from the floor on dumbbells. Nice job, Christopher. And our top 2, these are just more wild things that I don't recommend anybody doing, but I saw it, so you have to see it too. Victor Vanapin, the 6,257 burpees in 12 hours. And if you think that sounds awful, wait till we get to number 1. Boz and I both talked earlier. It's things we don't want to see. Maybe the deadlift. How about Danny Mulligan, who does 11,738 deadlifts at 155 pounds in 24 hours. I would just say that is a absolute tall glass of no thank you. However, I will say thank you to Adrian Bozman for carrying the show with me today. Lucy Campbell, I hope you feel better. Next week, open registration begins. Make sure you're ready. You're going to sign up, and you will see us on the leaderboard. We'll be live 12 p.m. Central on Wednesday with your 2-time Open champ, Colton Mertens. For that, I will say goodbye. See you guys.